Hey guys, we're back. It's 4:30. Best part of my day. I've been looking forward to this all day. This morning was tough. I woke up and I just found myself refreshing my feed, and I was like, I've got to do something different. And I started planning for this, and it really does make a big difference. I also spent some time video chatting with a 5-year-old, which I highly recommend. But we are in my home today. It's the weekend and my shop has been busy today, and big thanks to my staff who are so wonderful. But you can see we've upped our production quality game here. We've got some lights. We figured out that this Mevo camera that you guys have been asking about, I continue to get emails about this. This Mevo camera has an audio app, so my phone is now my microphone. So that's available to you for you guys who are wanting to go live on Facebook, which I strongly recommend during this time. If you have a service you can provide, I'm seeing my personal trainer from Max Fitness live on Facebook, my yoga instructors. So if that's something that you can offer the world, I highly recommend it. But I am here in my kitchen with you guys, and I'm making quiche. I love quiche. I love quiche as sort of a light meal. It's wonderful with a glass of wine, but what I really love about quiche is it's delicious the next day. We have chickens, so we have lots of yard eggs, and that's what I'm going to put together for you guys. So before we started here today live, I got some things going, and this quiche was something I just wanted to cobble together what I had in my kitchen. And what I had were some mushrooms, and I'll admit in a day or two, these were, needed to go in the compost bin. So these are mushrooms that needed for something to happen to them. I had a shallot. I've gone to a couple of grocery stores, and I noticed that in some of the grocery stores, they're working really hard to keep the onions stocked, but there's lots of shallots. You guys, this is like wonderful oniony flavor. And if you don't need a ton of them, this is your answer. So it's a little more subtle than an onion, maybe a little more refined, and it's kind of like an onion garlic combination. But this is a shallot, even though my mom says a shallot is a long green onion. Long story. This is a shallot, and it's a beautiful flavor, and I've seen lots and lots of them. So what I did before you got here was I sauteed in olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever's available to you at home. I sauteed finely chopped shallot, sliced mushrooms, and what I do is I take the stem off, and these stems go in my stock bag. So I talked about my stock bag the other day. We have them at work, at the shop, and I have one at home. So mushrooms are fantastic in vegetable stock, rich umami flavor, and a great liquid that I use when I make bone broth. And we might be talking about bone broth on another live next week. Again, I'm going to do these every day as long as it makes sense and it's appropriate. And you can see this stock bag, I got my parsley stems in there, and I'm making a parsley salad in just a minute. So sliced mushrooms, the shallot, and then tasso. That's what was in my freezer. I've done this with smoked sausage. I've done this with ham. I've done this with andouille. This is tasso. Tasso is a highly seasoned smoked meat made from pork, typically. And there's lots of it in South Louisiana. I'm from the river parishes of Louisiana, and we have lots of smokehouses that dot that German coast of Louisiana. And, many, many generations, and they work hard and they make wonderful products. If they're available in your grocery store, if you're here in South Louisiana, please purchase them. These are these are family-owned folks, and they do a beautiful job. So this is tasso, and it brings, you don't need a lot of it to bring a ton of flavor. So I used about a piece about this size, and I cut it very small. And I sauteed in my olive oil, and I want to saute till I get it where there's not a ton of liquid coming from those shallots and mushrooms anymore. You want to get this fairly dry. So if you were, and a quiche is this is all about creativity and what's available in your kitchen right now. Let's say you were doing kale or broccoli or spinach. You just want to make sure it's cooked and all, as much liquid as you possibly can get it out of there, because if liquid is weeping in the custard of the quiche, that's no good. So I've got these cooked down and fairly cool, so those are ready to go in my quiche. So now I need to make my custard, and I don't remember where I put it. Also, yesterday's recipe, the Tuscan shrimp pasta and the parfait, they're up on the website. I got a few messages about that. They are up on the website. There are no photographs because we ate all the food and forgot to photograph it. So we're going to make it again and photograph it. But the recipes are up on the website. I made that pasta for the Facebook Live. I got home and I made it again. It is absolutely out of this world. And that is my manager Jennifer's recipe. And I love that we are swapping recipes right now. By the way, my Main Street Market supervisor, Kelly, is going to share her bread recipe for her bread maker. We're going to post that in comments or in a story. We're going to get that up for you guys. A lot of you all are having a hard time finding bread. If you have yeast, if you happen to have some yeast, yeast is also in short supply. If you can borrow some yeast or if you have some, that bread machine that maybe is in a cabinet, was a wedding gift, you know, that's collecting dust, put it to work now. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way and figure out where I put my items for my custard. So I'll be back. Aha. Okay, someone else asked, let me reach in and get my dairy. Someone else asked that I try to use clear bowls because I know it's not super easy to see what I'm doing. I try to tilt things for you guys to see when I can. But I grabbed some clear bowls today. So you're making a custard. A quiche is a custard. It's something that needs some gentle heat. It's going to take a little while to cook. And I use a very basic formula for it. And then what goes in the quiche is where I get creative. So I'm going to do the proper thing and crack these eggs in a bowl. I normally don't do that, but 4 eggs go in. So I'm going to make sure I don't have any shells. 4 eggs, and it's 1 3/4 cup, half and half, which I didn't have, but I had cream and I had milk. So all was good. And that is the basic formula for the liquid. And this makes a good bit of liquid. And I will say the pie crusts, and I'm using frozen pie crust. You make pie crust, knock yourself out. I am using frozen pie crust today, and I'll say that the brand that was available in the store, I got a shell, you guys, so I'm going to get that out of there. The brand that was available in the store is a kind of a small shell, but I just put all the liquid in there. There was just a tiny bit left over. 4 eggs, 1 3/4 cup, half and half. That goes in, and then I'm going to do a teaspoon salt, nutmeg, and white pepper. So this is a very classic custard. You could certainly come in here with flavors if you wanted to, but I keep it classic and I keep my fillings where I go kind of crazy with flavors. So I want to combine these and create this custard, but I do not want to overbeat them because we're not really looking for it to like crazy puff and rise in the oven, but we definitely want to get it completely combined. So I've got salt going in, some white pepper, and then nutmeg. It's about 1/4 teaspoon. So your whole nutmeg keeps almost indefinitely. So I definitely recommend that you have, you know, whole nutmeg in your cabinet in a microplane, and that'll get you there. And we need about 1/4 teaspoon. So nutmeg is something I add to white, creamy, you know, custard type things. It's also what I'm going to put in an Alfredo. So a great thing to have on hand, and it's just kind of like a whisper of flavor. I had a culinary instructor say, you know, you don't want to be knocking people over the head with nutmeg where it's screaming. You just want a whisper of it. But it's a great addition to dishes like this. So custard is made, filling is made. I'm going to pull my crust up now. And oh, we also had someone comment about the audio issues. So a couple of things like about that. We have this app, which is awesome. So that's an improvement. But we're also editing these videos after the fact, and they're going to live on our website and our YouTube channel. My son, Clay, is a film major, and he's doing that work for me remotely. I love all this being able to work remotely. My son is editing those, and he is working on the audio so that perhaps if there was difficulty when it was live, when you go back and watch it on YouTube, you would hopefully, not hopefully, you will have better audio. Okay, store-bought frozen crust. Filling goes in the bottom. Again, you don't want this to be weepy and wet. Whatever you're putting in here as you're filling, make sure you've cooked it or strained it or drained it or squeezed. Be sure you're squeezing that spinach in some paper towels or a tea towel. So I'm going to put that all along the bottom. And then I want about a cup of cheese. So I have Gruyere and cheddar going in. Again, when I was at the grocery store, what I noticed is that the convenience cheese, the pre-shredded cheese and sliced cheese is sold out, but the block cheese was in great abundance. You guys, we can eat cheese from the block, so get your grater out, get your knife out. That's still available, and honestly, it's a better bargain, because it's not been pre-grated for you. So this is, I'm going to say this is my cheddar, and that's my Gruyere. Just a combo of the two. So I'm going to grate my cheese, and then that goes on top of my filling, and then the custard goes on top. And you'll see with this pie crust that it's a little too much filling for this crust. You could pour that into a ramekin and make a crustless quiche in a ramekin. It's going to cook really quickly. Put it alongside this pan. It's going to cook really quickly, but then you'd have essentially, a crustless quiche in a little souffle cup. Okay, I've got my cheese in there, and then I'm going to pour my custard in.
The pepper.
The what now?
The pepper.
This pepper?
Yeah, move it.
Move it. That's my producer, my husband, helping. Okay, in goes the custard. And I'm living on the edge here. I've got about that much left. And so that's pretty full. And then I am going to kind of get that cheese to submerge. And then that goes in a 3. Now we cranked up the heat today because we just finished cooking the quiche before we went live. So we did crank up the heat. But really what you need is to carve out around an hour, maybe even an hour and 15 minutes at 325. So you need to gently cook a custard. So you need a lower heat. And what that means is that this crust might not brown the way you want it to. So you have a couple of options. An egg wash, you can brush this edge if you want a golden brown crust. And I've also seen folks where they brush it with butter. To get a brown crust, but that goes in your oven, and then that quiche is one of my favorite things to do is serve a slice of quiche with a little salad on the side. So I'm going to get this guy out of the way and make a parsley salad, which is a salad we make a ton in the shop. A lot of classes, we find that those cuisines have a parsley salad. Our Greek class, all the Mediterranean classes, the North African classes, they have some form of a parsley salad. And at first I was like, please do not serve me a parsley salad. And then we started playing with them, and oh my goodness, they're amazing. It's just interesting to me, this green that was you know what I didn't do? Rosemary. I have my rosemary's gone bananas in my yard, as has my parsley. So finely chopped rosemary gets sprinkled on that mushroom filling with the cheese and then the custard. So that's something, if that's in your yard or if you have some, I definitely do fresh over dried, but a nice, good heaping tablespoon of rosemary down there with the filling, really, really yummy. So parsley salad is lemony, bright, fresh, really, really good for you. Parsley's inexpensive. It's going bananas in my little herb garden right now. Won't be for much longer now that it's getting warm, but definitely something that grab some when you're at the store. This is an amazing salad. So I've got parsley, and I've grabbed the stems about halfway down and chopped those and included those. You guys, no more picking of parsley from the stems or cilantro. We can eat the stems. They're full of flavor and, add some nice crunch. So gone are the days of having to do that. So I've got parsley. I took grape tomatoes and I quartered them just so they would be a nice, easy bite. And then green onions. And what's going to go in here is about a teaspoon of zest of a lemon. Lily, if you're watching, you have changed my life with the amount of times. Lily's one of our instructors at the shop. She cooked with me the other day, and when Lily is teaching a class at Red Stick Spice, we get a sack of lemons because she is all about the lemon. So a lot of times when I think, why would we squeeze a lemon in that? And then I taste it and I totally understand. So lots of lemons in the house because of Lily. So I'm going to do about a teaspoon of zest. This tip was taught to me by a friend in culinary school. She said, turn the zester upside down and put the lemon underneath. That way you can see where you've zested with each pull of the zester and you don't get any pith. And you can also see how much zest you're building up to eyeball your teaspoon or whatever you might need. So lots of folks zest like this and they can't see what they're doing. So I like that tip a lot. Okay. Let me keep zesting. By the way, I need the lemon juice as well. Hot tip, don't juice your lemon before zesting it. It's really hard to zest a lemon that's been cut in half. Okay, I like that amount of zest. So that goes in, and then I'm gonna cut this guy in half. And our lemon juice is gonna go in. I also need some olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. So that goes in there. And then olive oil, about a tablespoon. This is a lemon olive oil. You can use a plain olive oil if that's what's available. And where are my handy tongs, my favorite kitchen tool? Let me grab them. And that's it. It's bright, it's refreshing, it's just great, clean flavor. I would highly recommend that you make it in the morning. It's totally delicious that afternoon, but I love parsley salad. I love to do like a piece of grilled fish and top it with parsley salad. This is also my sister Grace's, one of her favorite things. She does a parsley and rice salad, really, really good. But this is certainly going to benefit from sitting for a minute. But we've got it all combined and it's coated with the oil and lemon juice and it's starting to wilt a little bit, which is what you want. But it's really, really gorgeous. It needs a little bit of salt. And I'm going to do black pepper on this. And then I'm going to serve that up with the quiche. So I wanted to let you all know that my plan for Monday is I'm going to do a Louisiana history lesson. I took Louisiana studies in 8th grade. I don't know if that's when they teach it anymore, but I want to cook something around the Acadians, the Cajuns, and I think I'm going to cook corn mok choux because I love the lesson around corn mok choux. So if any of you all are interested in something like that, I also want to let teachers know that if you would like me to go live or jump in a classroom, I'm open to that. If I can be useful and helpful, it's all I can offer is cooking, but I would be more than willing to do that. My mom, and so I can't imagine how hard this is for you guys right now. So I want to let you know that that's available to you. But that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do on Monday, a little Louisiana history lesson at 4:30. So, but I'm going to dish up this slice of quiche and see how we did here. Okay. So I'm going to do a little parsley salad. I need a fork.
Brittany took history in 7th grade.
7th? Okay. Louisiana history?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've got quiche over here. And remember, y'all, we were pushing it before we went live. So this is a little brown on the top. but no harm. Okay, so we've got salad, we've got quiche. That's a great supper, glass of wine. This is an amazing breakfast tomorrow morning. So there we go. Quiche, parsley salad. Probably pull together a quiche right now in your kitchen. If you're making your own pie crust, rock on. I want to hear about it, but I want pictures of quiche. I love what you guys are doing. I'm getting great pictures of kids cooking, which is amazing to me. 2-year-old Charlie Joe cracking eggs. Rory and Rowan making grilled cheese. Warms my heart, motivates me to get up and do this again every day at 4:30. Let me know what you guys want me to cook. I'm so honored that you guys tune in for me to do this, and I'm going to stop talking and take a bite and see how I did. Oh, it's wonderful. 100% that's cilantro. So there you go. Still delicious though. All right, super fun, you guys. I'm going to come back tomorrow at 4:30. I hope you guys will join me. Thanks. Bye.